Welcome to this explainer. I'm so glad you're here today, because we're going to talk about something you've definitely felt recently, probably even today to be honest. We're talking about boredom. Now, usually we treat feeling understimulated like a problem, right? Like something that needs to be fixed right this second. But what if I told you that this exact sensation, that restless, kind of itchy feeling of having absolutely nothing to do, might actually be exactly what your brain needs to thrive?
Right off the bat, I want to completely challenge how we normally think about being bored. Boredom can absolutely spark creativity. We spend so much time running away from it, treating it like a dead end or, a total waste of time. But today, we're completely reframing that. Far from being a negative state, boredom is actually a super powerful catalyst. Think of it as the literal starting line for your imagination.
Okay, let's dive into this. Part 1. The purpose of boredom.
So, boredom is absolutely not a glitch in your system. It's not a malfunction. It's basically your brain's way of saying, hey, give me something to do. From a neuroscience standpoint, it's actually a prompt for you to seek out new rewards. When you're bored, your brain isn't just powering down. No way. It actually fires up what neuroscientists call the default mode network. And this is the part of your brain responsible for daydreaming, analyzing the past, imagining the future, the whole shebang. Your brain is this high-powered engine. And when it's idling, it starts revving. It's actively asking you for an assignment. It is a direct request for engagement, not a signal to shut down.
Moving right along to part 2, where the mind wanders.
So here's our first real question to explore together. When I last felt bored, what did my mind wander to first? I want you to actually pause for a second and just sit in that brief moment of quiet space. What popped up for you? Was it a random memory? Maybe a sudden weird urge to reorganize your entire kitchen? Or just a thought about an old hobby you haven't touched in years? Now, what's really interesting about this slide is what those initial thoughts actually represent. When boredom hits, it pulls up half-forgotten interests. It brings up these weird what-if scenarios. Suddenly, you're wondering how to build a birdhouse, right? Or you're thinking about that guitar gathering dust in your closet. Fun fact, J.R.R. Tolkien was famously bored out of his mind grading blank exam papers, found a blank page, and just scribbled, "In a hole in the ground there lived a hobbit." I mean, that is the absolute magic here. Those first seemingly random thoughts are usually the raw material for creative work. They're the foundational building blocks for your next great idea. And without the quiet space of boredom, those thoughts never even get a chance to surface.
This brings us to part 3, avoiding versus using boredom.
So what's the difference between avoiding boredom and using it? Think about your own immediate knee-jerk reaction to a lack of stimulation. Like, what is the very first thing your hand does when you're stuck waiting in line, or sitting in a doctor's office, or even just when a TV commercial comes on?
Well, this brilliantly illustrates the friction we experience literally every single day. On one side, we try avoiding boredom entirely. And let's be honest, scrolling on a phone kills boredom fast. It's instant gratification, right? A super quick rescue from a tiny drop in dopamine. But consider the actual cost here. It also completely kills the quiet space. It basically floods that high-powered engine of your brain with cheap fuel. On the other side, we have using boredom. Now, this takes a little patience. It's about protecting that quiet space where ideas actually form. It's a choice, really, between instant digital noise or delayed brilliance.
Seriously though, if you didn't reach for distraction, what would surface? I really want to press you on this one. Imagine the specific, highly personal ideas, or the solutions to problems you're stuck on, or the creative projects you might literally be killing every single time you choose to doom scroll instead of just sitting with your own thoughts. Like, what brilliance is hiding right behind your urge to check your notifications?
And that leads us to our final section, part 4, the empty room.
Here's a final question for us to really sit with. If boredom is an empty room, what do I actually want to build in it? Try to visualize your mind transitioning from this super cluttered, loud, distracted space filled with everyone else's opinions and content into a completely blank canvas. Just a quiet, empty room.
So, the crucial point is simply this. Creativity absolutely needs blank space. It just cannot exist in a crowded, noisy room. And boredom? Boredom hands you that space on a silver platter. It isn't just some empty void lacking value, it's a profound opportunity. It's literally the necessary terrain for anything new to grow.
So it all really comes down to how you choose to view that empty room. Is boredom a void to escape? Like, is it a vacuum that makes you so uncomfortable you just have to flee by grabbing your phone? Or is it a studio to enter? A dedicated workspace where your brain, finally free from all those distractions, can pick up those half-forgotten interests and weird what-ifs
and start building something amazing. It really depends entirely on your perspective.
I'm going to leave you with this final provocative thought. Which one hits hardest for you right now? Are you escaping a void, or are you stepping into a studio? The very next time you feel that itch of boredom, the next time you instinctively reach into your pocket for your phone to kill the quiet, I want you to remember this explainer. Just pause. Let your mind wander, step into the empty room, and let's see what you can build. Thanks so much for joining me today, and I'll catch you next time.